Singer Yuna made a splash in her native Malaysia with her self-titled debut album in 2008. But it was her second album 2 years later that made her a global sensation. Since then, she's collaborated with the likes of Usher and Pharrell Williams and is now on a tour, including here in Istanbul. So we invited her here to the TRT World studios to speak to our Elif Bereketli.
I think the trick is to just be really sincere in what you're doing. You know what I mean? Not expecting anything back. You always have to be honest with yourself, and you always have to be sincere with your passion for, whatever that you do.
Jet black Mercedes built in the 70s, classic like you and me.
Malaysian singer-songwriter Yuna describes her sound as vibey, a really cool mix. That applies to her presence too. As a successful performer and fashionable hijabi, Yuna's become a symbol for thousands of women. She is, as her Instagram bio says, a different kind of modern woman. What's striking about her and her music is how upbeat she is. Even when she talks about being a Muslim woman tapping into the highly competitive music industry in the US.
How did I tackle the fear of failing? I don't know, I just didn't think about it. I didn't think of, oh my God, what if I fail? I didn't think of the embarrassment, or I didn't think of, all the, whatever, the energy and the money and the time that I spent into a project. I was always positive, okay, baby steps, let's try this, and then what's the next step, and what's the next step, so I was really focused.
From what you are, and rise before you fall.
You're often defined as Muslim, hijabi, female singer-songwriter to the public, but how comfortable are you with that?
Pretty comfortable. In the beginning, it was kind of weird, but I get it, I understand that, I'm not trying to run away from who I am. I'm really proud of my roots as a Malay girl and also as a Muslim woman. But I wish that the labeling would stop. Even with anybody else, I feel like you don't like to be labeled, the blonde girl, or the redhead, or the hijabi, you know what I mean?
But why do you think this is happening? Do you think that they're looking for people, Muslim people, that they can relate to?
I guess it's safe to say that not a lot of people have seen a Muslim girl on stage playing the guitar and singing her songs that she wrote herself, and I guess they're just excited about that. They spend so much time thinking this group of people were a certain way, you know what I mean? And they've been stereotyping for the longest time, and here comes someone who's completely different. So I think that's just it.
A lot of Muslim people feel represented by you. Do you think this puts a weight on your shoulders?
Of course, but then again, I can't let that dictate my life. You know what I mean? You can't let other people kind of just dictate where you should go, which path you should take. I like to stay on my own path, you know what I mean? I grew up in a very loving family. I have a huge family back home, I love them. And my parents, they're the most wonderful parents in the world. And they gave me everything that I needed, growing up. They're so wise, and they're so loving, and they're kind, and they made me into who I am today.
When I was younger, I would go to the airport with my friends. We'll drive out 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning and just hang out till sunrise, watching planes fly in and fly out.
Yuna was fresh out of law school in Kuala Lumpur when she decided to switch gears and start a musical career. But what if she hadn't taken that leap? So do you ever think how your life would be like if you didn't decide to embark on a musical journey? Do you think you'd be spending time in like courtrooms, or do you think you'd be married with kids, or would you be leading like a more traditional life? Do you ever think about that?
Probably, yeah. And I thought about it, and because I see a lot of my friends, you know, I'm still pretty close to a lot of my friends from school, and they all have kids. You know, they have 2, 3 kids, and I'm like, wow, my life would probably be a lot like that if I didn't leave Malaysia. But no regrets, you know. Like, I think the back of my mind, I always knew like I wanted to take music a little bit further than just, you know, performing at school proms or, you know, concerts, like small concerts. Like, I wanted to go overseas and pursue music.
Yeah, maybe you don't regret it, but do you have any sort of a longing for that kind of life? When you go back to Kuala Lumpur, you see your friends, you know, they lead probably, I'm just imagining that they lead a different life than you do. Do you ever feel like, well, that could have been nice if I just followed that path?
Yeah, of course. You know, like, I'm a woman, you know, like, very, you know, I'm also, I could say that I'm very traditional, I'm very old school. You know, like, I want to have kids, I want to start a family, but, you know, I also have this dream that I wanted to pursue. But I feel like, you know, like, now I think like everything's starting to come together nicely, you know, like, I have a very stable job, kind of, you know, and it's very exciting. I love what I do. And the missing piece of the puzzle is just, you know, to find like that partner who understands what I do and who will support whatever that I do. And I think that's like the best thing that I could ask for, you know, like someone who will, you know, provide me that kind of happiness, like, and maybe start a family with this person. But yeah, hopefully, you know, like one day, like, yeah.
He's one in a million. I don't know when I'll be seeing him again. He wants to live in a city, moved out.
So you define yourself in your Instagram bio as a different kind of modern woman. So what does that mean really? What is being a different kind of modern woman?
A different kind of modern woman. I don't know. Like, I read somewhere, you know, like, someone wrote something about, you know, like, oh, I'm a modern woman, but it's just something that I kind of like disagree with, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, maybe but I am also a modern woman, but I cannot relate to this article, you know? So I think that's where I got it from. It's just like, okay, I'm a different kind of modern woman, you know? Like, I'm half, I should say, like, modern liberal, and half of me is pretty much like conservative and traditional, you know? Like, I'm a very like traditional Malay girl, you know? So, but at the same time, that doesn't limit me into doing things differently, you know? So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's.
So you're
that's
basically saying that you can be traditional and conservative but modern at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? You know, like, you hang on to your values that you've gotten from your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, and you carry it with you. You know, like coming to the U.S., I still have to, you know, cook my own Malay dish, you know what I mean? Like, I love all the traditional ways of just like curing illnesses and stuff like that, you know, like, but at the same time, I'm still in LA, like doing music, doing interviews, but still I pray in the studios, you know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, I do what I can to stay the way that I am. Yeah. I'm comfortable being this way, you know, I wear the hijab, or, you know, like the turban, I wear jeans, and yeah, and the same time, like in the US, like, oh yeah, I can't do tours when I'm fasting during Ramadan, you know what I mean? And people will have to understand that. And alhamdulillah, you know, so far, like people do understand that I have to kind of, you know, like this is something that I, you know, still hold on to. Like this is really important for me to fast during Ramadan. So they're just like, all right, you go on tours like after fasting month, you know, stuff like that. There's a give and take, and you'll end up finding that balance. You know, you'll end up adjusting, and the people around you will end up like respecting you more for, you know, for that. So yeah.
It's been a long day. I can't seem to keep up with it.
Yuna, you strike me as a very positive person. And I remember in one interview you said that you don't believe in thinking about anything negative. Can you tell me a bit more about that? What is your understanding of positivity?
And I think like what I'm trying to do with my songs, like maybe share my experience and, you know, maybe tell people that they are not alone, you know, like you're not in this alone. There are people who are going through the same things, and you will see light at the end of the tunnel. And that's important for me. Like I feel like as a musician, that's important for me to kind of just have that human connection with other people. And it's not just like singing something about, ooh, let's dance in a club, you know what I mean? Like to me, that, yeah, that's cool too, but I want something that's more like real, you know, as a person. Like for me, like I would listen to those kind of songs.
So what's next in your musical journey?
I'm currently working on my new album, and hopefully it'll be out soon, and it's so much fun.
So your last album, Chapters, was a very personal one. And what should we expect from the next one? Is it going to be a personal one as well?
Still pretty personal, but I think, I don't know, I feel like for this album, it's a little bit uplifting. We'll see, I'm excited. Yeah.